Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to learn how we can implement Select2 in our Laravel application. In here, as you guys can see, I have 4 select options. One for simple Select2 where it lists all the countries and its dependent cities. For example, in here if I select a country, Afghanistan, it will show all the cities of Afghanistan in here. Similarly, if I change it to India and select the India, it will display all India cities. Now in this part I have implemented Select2 with Ajax. So in here we have to type, then it will list for us. Let's say for example in here I will type Turkey and click here. Now in the dependent part, in the city, I have to type the city. For example, Istanbul, IS. If I type IS, it will list all the cities that contain IS in its name. For example, in here, as you guys can see, Istanbul, Eskişehir, and if I select one of them, it will be selected. So let's see how we can build it in our Laravel application. So let's go to our VS Code, and first of all let's create our route by going to routes web.php, and in here let's scroll down. At the end of my routes I will create a new route for my Select2. Let's type route : prefix, and let's give them a Select2 prefix. Then let's group them by typing group and create a callback function inside our group. Then after that let's create a route for our show our index file by typing route : get in slash, and we have to first go and fetch our countries. So in here let's type countries controller. Let's go to our countries controller : class, and in here I will create a new method with the name of Select2. So right now I am going to implement the basic Select2. Just I will add a Select2 class in my select option, nothing else. So let's go inside our countries controller, and in here let's at the end let's create a new method. Just type here public function and give it a name of Select2. Then let's get our countries. So in here I will create a variable and assign it to my countries. So countries all, and let's return the view as well. So let's type here return view and Select2 view dot index. Now let's send our countries also with the view. So in here I will type compact and type countries variables in the variables. Now let's go and create our Select2 file. So let's go to our resources. Let's go here at resources, views, and in here let's create a new folder with the name of Select2. Then in here I will create a new file with the name of index.blade.php. Now in here let's bring our layout. In here first of all let's type extends layouts.app, and inside my layout I have 3 sections, so let's call them also. So the first section would be the head. Let's end this, and then second section would be my content in section, and the third section I will use for my script. So let's type here script and all of them. Now let's go to our browser and let's go to Select2. In here Select2 is selected. Let's press enter. Okay, as you guys can see my layout is available now. Now I can do anything inside here. So let's go back to our VS Code. Now inside our content section, in here let's create a new div with a class of container. So let's type container And inside our container, I will create a div with a class of card. Then we will create the card header and the card body. So let's go and create a div with a class of card and another div with a class of card header for our title. And let's type in here, let's take h2 tag and let's type select2. Now after the card header, let's type the card body. Okay, now let's go and test here. Okay, we got our select2 and our card in here. Now let's go back to our VS Code and in here let's create our select option and its div. So first of all, let's create a div with a class name of row. So let's type here row. Let's give them a margin bottom of 4 as well. Then inside this, I will create a new div with a class of card. Same thing we did previously, and card header. This would be our simple select2. Let's add it inside h3 tag. So let's type here h3 and let's type simple select2. Then inside the card body, let's create our select option in here. So first of all, we will type our label, and in the label, let's type countries. Let's add this also. Let's add our select in here, and let's add our options in here. So first option would be select country. Okay, select country. Then after that we have to loop in for our countries. So in here, as you guys remember previously, we sent our countries using compacts and we got it with the all. So let's go and loop through in here for that. So in here, let's type for each $sign countries. So let's copy this from here, paste it here, countries as $sign country. For each of them, create an option with the value of $sign country dash code and display the name. So we will type country name. Now let's save and let's go to our browser. Let's refresh. Okay, we got our countries with the list of all the countries available inside our select option, but right now it's not as select2, it's just a simple select option. Now let's go to our VS Code and create another select option to fetch the cities based on the selected country. So let's go in here and let's change our row, divide our row to 2 columns. So let's in here type colon made 6. Then let's move our this countries inside this one, and let's copy this from here up to here in here and change simple select2 to simple depend. Now in the state of countries, we want to fetch cities, so we will change this to select cities. And let's add an ID and name for this one also. So we will type ID countries and name also in here countries. Let's add a 4 for this one also, countries. And let's add 4 for this one for our dependent cities also. So let's type cities ID is equal to cities and name as well. So cities. Now let's save. Let's go back here and let's refresh. Okay, we got our cities also, but we don't want to loop the countries in here. So let's remove. Yeah. So now let's go and create our route controller and functions. So whenever the user change the country in here, it should display or add the cities of that country in this our select option. So let's go. First of all, let's add some classes, bootstrap classes in here, so they should look better. So let's in our countries, let's add a class in here, form control, and let's add this also in our cities also, form control. Let's go and refresh. Okay, now they look better. Now let's go and create the route and controller for fetching the cities. So let's go to our web.php, and in here let's create a new route with the type of gate, and I will give him a gate cities URL. Then we will go to our cities controller. Then after that I will create a method in there with the name of gate city based on country. Let's save this. Let's go and to our cities controller. In here let's create a new function. So let's type public function and get cities based on countries. Then let's type here request $request, and in here let's say return cities : where country code is equal to request country code and gate. So the reason that here I search based on country code, because my countries and cities are linked with the country code, not the ID. If you have a table that is connected, or the relationship or primary key is ID, then you should use ID. So I am using here country code. If I go to my database also, and in here if I open the countries, in here I have the code, and if I open the cities also, because I took the cities from the GitHub, in here it also have code but not country ID. So the country's code is connected with the city's country code. That's the reason that I use country code in the where condition. So our controller is right now done, and our web.php is also done. Now in here let's create a Ajax so we can fetch the cities based on the country. So let's go to our script, and in here let's type our script first, script tag. Then inside here I will create my jQuery so that this should run when the page loads. So document.ready function and our callback function. Then inside here I will create a event listener for my country. So when the user change the country, it should trigger. So let's type here country dot on change. Then let's create a callback function in here as well. So first of all, what we have to do is to clear everything from our cities, previous cities that user selects. So whenever the users change the country, it should empty all the cities from this. So for that reason, let's type in our countries event listener cities dot empty. This will clear all the options from the cities. Then after that, let's create a new variable with the name of code and save the selected country code in here. So let's type this dot find option selected dot val. Now let's create our Ajax so we can send the code and get the city. So in here let's type $dot Ajax, and inside here Then the type of the URL is gate. Then I will send the URL. So let's type here URL, and I will pass the URL as a URL. Then it's select2/gate cities. Then after that we have to send our data. So I will type data, and in here I will send the country code. Then I will type my variable, send my variable. Then after that, let's create our success function. So in here let's type success, and let's type function, then pass data as a parameter. Then inside our success function I will say data.map as an x, then append all the data to our cities as an option. So let's copy this, and in here let's type cities.append option, and the value should be x.id, and display the name. So x.name. Okay, let's everything is set in here. Now let's go to our browser, let's refresh. Okay, let's change the country to Afghanistan. Yeah, we got all the cities of Afghanistan. Let's change it to Argentina. Yeah, we got the Argentina. Now let's change it to India. Yeah, we got all the cities of India. Now before moving further, let's convert this to select options to Select2. So let's go to a new tab. In here let's type Google, and in this Google let's type Select2. Then let's click on the Select2 link. In here let's click here, and let's go to installation part, scroll down until you find this using Select2 from a CDN. In here we have two links, we have to copy this. So let's copy the first here, our styles. So let's copy this, and let's go to our VS Code. In the top, in the head part, I will paste it here, and also we need the script. So let's copy this one also, and paste it inside of my script. One thing to remember in here, because I am using my template and it will load jQuery by default for in the top of this, so that's why I am just adding this. But you guys who are don't use jQuery, you have to add the jQuery script before the Select2. Now let's go in here, and let's refresh. Let's go to page source, and in here if I search for jQuery, let's in here, as you guys can see, this is my jQuery script, then this is my Select2. So the jQuery should come before the Select2. Okay, let's go back to our VS Code and change this to Select2. So let's go and let's copy the ID of countries and ID of cities as well, and let's come here. Then in here we can do like this, the ID of select option. Then after that we have to type dot select to and close it. Now let's go refresh. Okay, now as you guys can see, we have our select options as in Select2 here also and here also. Now if I change here the country to Turkey, click, now I got my cities in here in our Select2 select option. So this is it for a simple select option with dependencies. And now let's go and create our Select2 with the Ajax. So let's go to our VS Code in here. Let's scroll up and let's copy from here up to here. So let's copy them. So let's copy this row and let's type HR in here for line and paste it. Let's change this to Ajax Select2. Then the countries also should be, let's this one, this and this should be Ajax countries. And let's scroll down. Okay, in here we don't need to loop for our variable, so let's delete this one from here. Now for the cities, in the state of simple, we just write the paint Ajax Select2. Then let's change this also to Ajax cities. Okay, let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh. Okay, yeah, we got our Ajax Select2 and dependent Ajax Select2. So for the Ajax Select2, if you want to get the countries using the Ajax, so the user has to type in here something before it display the list of the countries and also for the cities also. So for that reason, let's go and create a new route. So it should send it through it and the controller as well before creating the Ajax part for this Ajax Select2. So let's go to our VS Code and let's go to our web.php. In here, let's create a new route with the type of get and let's give them a search countries URL and it should go to countries controller class and let's create a new method with the name of search select2. Now let's go inside our countries controller and after our select2 in here let's create a new method. So let's type here public function search select2 and let's type our request $request. Then in here let's return countries where name like and in here let's type $% and concatenate it to the request search. Then let's add one more $sign and get. Now let's go to our index.play.php. In here after our this function, this event listener, in here let's create a new function and in here let's copy the idea of Ajax countries and add it here. Then after that select2. So as we did in previously, it will change our default select option to select2. Then in here we have some options, so let's add it here. So we are going to use the Ajax in here and inside the Ajax let's type the URL and same thing we did in here, we will do exactly like that URL. Then we will type our URL which is select2/search countries. Now the data type in here it will be JSON and for the data itself we will use function. Then it has a parameter. Then inside our data function we will say return search params dot term. Then after our data in here let's create our process results. So when we get our result back, so it will be process results function and data as a parameter that we get from the server. So we will say return and result equal to data dot map, because in here we are using map. If we go to our countries controller, we use here gate, so it will return an array. That's why we are going to use map in here. So let's type map, and inside our map function item, then we will say return IDs to item dot ID and text to item dot name. Now let's add our semicolon in here and also in here as well. So this is it. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's cache the result because we don't want every time if the user types same thing, it should have cache, so it will be faster as well. So in here let's type cache to true. Now let's go in here and let's refresh. Okay, it's converted to Select2. Now let's type here something Afghanistan, but let's say we have an error. So let's see what is the error. Let's go to network tab. Let's type Afghanistan again. Let's click here, response. Okay, we got, but we have an error because it's not displaying. Let's go back to our VS Code in here. So after a lot of searching, finally we found that we forgot the S. It should be plural results, not result. So after adding the S, it's fixed. Now let's refresh. Okay, let's type Afghanistan. We got AF as an Afghanistan, Central African Republic, and South Africa. And if I type TR, we get Turkey, Turkmenistan, and Turks. Now in here we have one problem. If I click in here, as you guys can see, I got all my countries in here, but this, I don't want this behavior. I can change it also, so at least the user can type 2 characters before displaying our countries. So let's go in here, and in here let's let's add a placeholder also. So let's type placeholder to select country, and the minimum input length should be 2. Now if we go back to our browser and refresh, now it's not displaying our countries, but I have to type at least 2 characters. So in here I will type UN. Okay, as you guys see that after that I type 2 characters, it displayed the countries. Now let's do one more time. So let's type this time IR. So we got Iran, Iraq, Ireland, these countries. Okay, up to this part is done, we can get our countries. So let's select Afghanistan. Now let's add a dependence. So whenever the user change the country, it should also get the cities also based on the Ajax. So let's see how we can this tool. So let's click Afghanistan. There's no cities. Let's fix this part also. So let's go in here. First of all, let's go and create our route and controller. So let's go to our route, and in here let's create a new route with a type of gate, and let's give them a URL of search cities. Then we will go to our cities controller, class, and in here let's create a new method with the name of search cities. Now inside, let's go here, engineer, let's create our function. Let's type public function search cities, and let's type our request also. Then let's type here return cities, where country code is equal to request country, and where name like %sign dot person request search, and again dot %sign, then get. Now let's go to our index.blade.php, and instead of after the minimum input length, instead of semicolon, in here we have to type on and type change. So whenever the user change this select2, it should trigger. So let's type change, and let's type our callback function. Then inside our callback function, I will create a new variable with the name of country and set it to this dot val. Okay, let's do change here. We added the value as an item dot id, but our countries in as I showed here, we need the country code. So instead of id, let's change it to code. Now in here we will get the country code. Then the same thing that we did here, where it was here, we emptied our cities. So we have to also empty our city first of all. So we will type, let's copy our cities id, so Ajax cities, and paste it in here dot empty, and let's say that trigger the change also. So let's say trigger change. Now let's say if country, in that case change the Ajax city, let's copy it from here, and again same thing that we did in here we will do for Ajax also. So let's do here dot select2, and inside our select2 let's create our functions. Let's create our Ajax, so Ajax, and inside our Ajax the URL will be this time URL, and let's type select2 slash search cities. Then after that the data type, again it's all again JSON. Then the data function and params. Then inside our data we will send, so let's type return, and we will send the country, because it should be same exactly that we wrote here. So let's say country and search. So let's copy them from here and paste it here. So for both of them, so for country we will send the country variable, this variable that we created in here, and for the search we will say params dot term. Then after our data we have to create our success function. So in this case it will be process results, and again our callback function, then data as a parameter, and we will say return results data dot map our function, and item as a parameter. Then inside this we will return our object. So id would be item dot id, and text will be item dot name. Now let's say cache this one also. So let's say cache is equal to true, and set a placeholder also. So let's type placeholder, and let's type here select city. Then we can also add a minimum. So let's copy this also here, and this time let's give them to 1. Now let's go in here, let's refresh. Okay, now again we have a problem. Okay, now let's type Afghanistan. Okay, we got Afghanistan, and now let's type the city to KA. Now as you guys can see, we got the city also. We can also type Kandahar. So we got Kandahar, and in here if I type Turkey and select it, then in here if I let's type Istanbul. Okay, we got all the cities of Turkey that have IS on it. Let's select the Istanbul. So in here we can also do, and in here if I type India, let's type Delhi. Okay, we got both Delhi and New Delhi. So this is how we can create a simple select2 with the dependent, and Ajax select2 with its dependent. So hope you guys enjoyed the video and liked the video. If you have any questions, write it down in the comment, and don't forget to press the subscribe and like button. See you guys in the next video.